Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Go Mega Otaku Gamer Alpha. I'm your Mega Otaku Gamer. I am Ken-chan. And let's get right into it. Today we're going to look at a system that was a really crappy seller for Nintendo. Some people may like to call it the PU. It was the Wii U. Now, the Wii U, of course, is the system that came out right before the Nintendo Switch. It sold somewhere in the neighborhood of like 14 million units in the entire 4 or 5 or almost 5 years that it was out, which is nowhere near enough units. Nowhere near enough. What it does set the thing up for, though, however, selling that that small number of units, it sets it up to be a collectible. So get yours now. I mean, if you can find one, get a hold of it. They're still around. You can still get them, and they still have the games in a lot of GameStops, most GameStops, as far as I know. So, it's really not that bad of a system. It's a shame that it didn't do better than it did. Now, I'm looking around on the internet trying to find specs for the thing, and it's hard. Because as I'm looking for these specs, they're throwing in all this nonsense that doesn't mean anything, like color, how much the thing weighs, things that who cares? I want performance specs. So this is the closest I could come to on GameRant.com. Main application processor for the Wii U was a PowerPC architecture, 3 fully coherent cores. 3 megabytes cache size, and then you have the 3 cores, how much memory each core could do. Your main memory here was up to 3 gigabytes of main memory. That's I guess that's the onboard. Graphics and video, 32 megabyte of high bandwidth eDRAM, supports 720p or 1080p, rendering in a single pass, HDMI, and component video outputs. The Wii U, of course, came with an HDMI cable. It came in either 8 gigabyte or 32 gigabyte model. The white one was the 8 gigabyte. The black one was the 32 gigabyte model, which is a very small amount of, overall memory for a machine, even back then. Now it sounds like a weak tablet. Features. Here you have your your real lovely little features here that really don't do anything for me. The GX2 is a 3D graphics API for the Nintendo Wii system, also known as Cafe. Nice little tidbit here for you. Sound and audio, dedicated 120 megahertz audio DSP. Support for 6-channel discrete uncompressed audio. These specs here go the opposite direction. They give you too much. It's just like, okay, well, that's nice to know. Networking peripherals, 2 USB ports, SD card slot. Built-in storage. Now this 8 gigabyte, of course, is the smaller unit. The larger one had 32. Okay, and I go to a separate website, IGN, to get controller specifications. One of the things they did very poorly was communicate what this machine was and how it worked. A lot of people thought it was just a controller that you bought for your Wii, and that's not true. The overall dimensions of the controller is 10.2 inches wide, 5.3 inches high, 0.9 inches thick, 1.1 pounds. 6.2 inch screen, 16 by 9 aspect, 854 by 480 pixels at 158 pixels per inch. Multi-touch is not supported. So it was just like a giant DS touchscreen kind of thing. Front-facing camera, 1.3 megapixel. Button controls, you have your select, your start, your home, your TV button. The TV button allowed you to connect in a very strange way. It allowed you to connect your TV stuff and use the controller as like a TV controller. It was kind of squirrely, but I haven't used cable in years. I didn't use cable then. I don't have any setup like that. I'm a cord cutter, so I don't play with any of that stuff. So all I could get was like, it does get you, if you have TV over the air, it can get you some of that, but I have really no interest in any of that. ABXY buttons, a D-pad, L and R buttons along with ZL and ZR buttons, double bumpers on the outside. We'll take a look at we'll get into this when we get into the hardware. We start looking at the machine itself. Controller hardware, accelerometer, gyroscope, magnetometer, rumble. Oh, it has a rechargeable battery, of course. Front-facing camera, microphone, stereo speakers, headphone jack, volume slider, infrared light sensor. You could use it as a mini Wii. If you had a motion controller, you could set the thing up and use it like a mini Wii. Like a Wii with a really tiny little TV. It worked that way, trust me. TV input, wireless remote, yep, NFC, stylus. Okay, and battery life was 3 to 5 hours. Charge time was about 2.5 hours. You can charge while in use, but it takes a little longer. 500 charges and the capacity is reduced to 70% for the battery. So, and they had, I have one somewhere, an external battery you can plug in. Gyroscope, magnetometer, and acceleration. Okay, they talk a little bit about that there. That's stuff you find in most phones, or some phones at least. Front-facing camera. You can use. They have a video chat actually app on the Wii U that's pretty cool. Of course, nobody used it because nobody bought the system. Microphone, stereo speakers, headphone jack, and volume slider. Okay, we went into that. And this just tells you a little bit about them here if you want to go to IGN and look this up. But anyway, that's a little background on the machine. Of course, it launched on November 18th. That would have been 2012 when that came out, I think. And it was $299 for the 8 gigabyte basic and $349 for the 32 gigabyte deluxe. Let's get into the machine itself and start picking at it and play some games. Okay, so here it is. It's the Wii U. And we're looking at the controllers here, and this is the console. One of the things that Nintendo failed to do effectively when they announced the system was show this part of it. You can go back and look. You can find them on YouTube. You can find, Nintendo Wii U reveal or, Nintendo Wii U launch or whatever. But you'll find videos where they talk about this nonstop. But they even when they're showing videos of it, they show one of these in the background nestled under the TV. They make hardly any mention of it at all. But they talk about this, which gave people the idea, I'm sure. I don't know most people. Nobody does, but I really think that it probably gave a lot of people the idea that the Wii U was this thing attached to their Wii. A new controller for their Wii, because all they did was talk about the controller. So anyway, let's look at the controller. This is the NFC thing here that they talk about. You set your amiibo on there, and it reads it. Apparently, that's my understanding of it. I've never done that. Rocker switch here. Joysticks here and here. Okay. And here's your big old screen. Big 6 point, what was it? 6.2 inch touchscreen. Your TV button. This indicates your battery is low, which mine's charging, as you can see right there. This is the power button here. Home button. I believe this is... Where is it here? The speakers are here and here, I think. And the microphone is here. and your start button, your select button, your A, B, X, Y buttons here. This is a camera. See if we can get a close-up of that. And this strip here is a Wii motion sensor. Now, this device comes with a Wii motion sensor. It looks just like the old Wii motion sensor. It's over here. I have it. Let's see if I can get this. It's on top of the TV there underneath the PlayStation 4 thing. Camera. It's just your typical Wii motion sensor. Looks just like the one from the Wii. And then, of course, you have your buttons here. You have your L and your ZL here. Over here, your R and your ZR triggers. Okay. Pretty well set in there. You got your infrared sensor here. This is your for your microphone, or for your microphone for your headset. This is your volume slider here. This is where you plug it in, obviously. Okay. And then on the back, there's places for other peripherals to attach. You can actually attach, I have somewhere, as I said, a battery, an external battery that I attach to this for extra juice. This is where it sits in the old dock if you want to charge it that way. You can do that. I just charge mine like this. They have docks that do that. I don't have one of those. I just have this thing here that it just kind of sits in. Okay. So, yeah. And so you might wonder why why you have a Wii motion sensor right there. Well, you can use it as it also functions as a Wii. You can migrate all your Wii stuff onto the Wii U. And you can actually literally set this up like this, like a TV. Okay, and then you have your Wii motion controllers, and you can do like this, and it'll pick it up. Which is kind of neat. Which technically says that basically you don't have to use a TV for a lot of this stuff. Now, a lot of these games, you do need the TV. But some of them you don't. Now, let's look at the console itself. Let's get this out of the way so we can do this. Okay, of course your disc goes in here in the front. Very similar to the Wii in the front. You have your disc eject right here. Power. This light comes on when you are syncing a motion controller. Okay. Under here you have two USB ports. Here's your memory card slot right there. Okay, which is neat. That's nice and tidy under there. Cooling. A heat sink here for cooling. This little number here, I'm not sure. There's a screw here. I think that might be for a battery. I'm not sure. I don't know what goes in there exactly. I've never taken it apart to find out. So anyway, and then of these things, of course, these are for standing it up. There's this thing you can get that lets you stand it up sideways like this, which I have zero interest in. Here's some more cooling right here. Nintendo logo there. This side is pretty much smooth. The underside looks like you have some more cooling there. Here's feet for laying it down on its, the way I like to put it down. And of course, here's a fan. Two USB ports. HDMI slot. This is for if you want to run a component. No, this is for your Wii motion sensor. This is your power. Okay. Yellow for power, orange for Wii motion sensor. Okay. So, getting back to what I was saying here, I think I got this screwed up. Now, that looks like USB. It looks like this thing has a total of 4 USB ports. Or these are something. But it looks like 4 USB ports. It looks like USB there and USB here, if I'm not mistaken. So, 2 sets of USB. Let's try something. Let's try a USB What do I have lying around that I could shove in there real quick to see if it sticks? These two, I put a USB stick in there and it went right in. And into these. So, looks like you have 4 USB ports. So anyway, that's the hardware. Now let's look at the quirky way that this guy plays games. Okay, so here's the Wii U home, well, power-up screen anyway, and this is what it looks like on the controller when you do this. You do the Wii U menu. Now I'm going to turn all these volumes down, of course, so we can not be here. Let me just mute this, actually. Hopefully that goes away. From here you can transfer to the Wii U menu. Go ahead. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Now, if you recall in the PS in the video where I talk about the Switch and the Vita, I show you how the Vita works with the PS4, and that was basically the reason that works like that is an answer to this, and I would be willing to bet that just as many people used that PS4 and Vita rig as bought this system. I would be willing to bet that, or at least very, very close. Okay, so, but you get a different screen than what you get on the home screen here. Okay, so this has, like, you know, your games and stuff, and this is friend list. Well, you can't see it. Friend list, Miiverse. Your Nintendo eShop is there. Internet browser. Notifications. Download management. Okay, on your screen there. This little thingy here, watch this. See what it did? Change the screens. Now that crap is on here and this stuff is there. So let's switch that back. Ready? Boom. Okay, so that's a funky little thing. And then, of course, this is my Nintendo settings and stuff here. Okay. Close that up. And then you switch. You can use this or you can do this. But it's not multi-touch. You can't multi-touch this thing. Okay. So and then you have your games and your apps. You can do, you know, the Hulu and the YouTube and and the Netflix and you know, that kind of thing. You have your parental controls. Wii menu, that's where you, okay, if you migrate your Wii, that's where it ends up. Okay, you have your system settings. Health and safety information, which everybody loves, a lot of that. A daily log that keeps track of everything you do daily. I rarely use this system, so it probably has very little in that log. This is some kind of amiibo app that I got. Mii Maker, you make your Miis. Wii U Chat, that is a actually pretty kind of cool video chat application because you can carry the camera around with you and you can draw on the screen and stuff like that. Wii Street U, powered by Google. I don't know if this still works. I'm not going to open it here and now. But when I used this was one of the coolest Maps apps. You know, it's Google Maps, basically. It's a street view, but it's great. Go to my hometown that I grew up in and look around the streets there. You know, but it's great to do that. You know, it does a good job of it, actually. You play. And then I have, of course, some games here. So, but we're going to look at some, this is a game we're going to look at. First game we're going to look at here that we're going to put in here is one of my favorite games that I've never beaten yet. I don't know if you can see that or not. Xenoblade Chronicles X for the Wii U. Xenoblade Chronicles, you hit that. Start. Here's what's on here. There's what's on there. You see the... I'll just do it like this where every now and then I'll lift you up and see. Okay. Alright, so
here's what I got going on the TV. You see, my character is her. And I like to use the girls because I like to get behind them and watch them run. Okay. Now, what's on here? Well, a map. And you can use this to fast travel and that kind of thing. So, again, what you have here is a gigantic DS kind of idea. Okay, so you use this screen. Oh, and I forgot to mention this. Stupid. Here's a stylus for stuff, and it slides right on in here. Oh, yeah, stylus. Everybody's favorite. So, let's just see what this looks like on here. These graphics are quite good. They are very reminiscent of Xbox 360 and PS3. They might be a little bit better than what you get on something like that, but not extra phenomenal. I'm not going to go out and do too much here. I'm just giving you an idea here of what this kind of thing looks like. Here's Armory Alley. You can go get your equipment down here and get yourself hooked up. Okay. And where am I here? Okay, my character is what? A level 19, it looks like. And her partners, her assistants are level 18, 18, and 18. Okay, but I got stuck on this. I am stuck in a position. I got some really... it looks like I'm wearing, like a flight attendant's dress or something. But that's actually some pretty... Not the greatest armor in the world, but it actually works better than some of the stuff that looks like armor. And you buy stuff here and you can, check. And it gives you stuff. You pick up missions and stuff. It's your typical action, kind of semi-action RPG kind of thing. If you're not familiar with the game, first of all, I feel sorry for you if you missed out on any of these. It's very difficult. Extremely difficult. I've made headway on this game, but just like the new one they have for the Switch, I get stuck, and then I get angry, and then I stop playing it for a while. But anyway, you can see, from what you can see anyway from this camera, this has pretty smooth gameplay, pretty good colors, nice. It handles nicely. Nothing wrong with this game. There's nothing wrong with this system. The graphics weren't next gen, but then with the Wii, when the Wii came out, those graphics weren't next gen either, so they were kind of counting on people falling in love with this control system, this control scheme, as much as they did with the Wii control scheme, and it just didn't happen. The Wii control scheme was a fluke. It was popular right up until people found out they could do a lot of this motion control stuff on their phone, and then that kind of died off. Well, not entirely. It's back on the Switch, but I don't know how many people are actually using the Switch like that. But doesn't matter. They're buying it in droves. And so, this is Xenoblade Chronicles X. There you have it. Let's look at something else. Something I want to quick point out. You cannot eject a game from the controller. You have to use the eject button on the machine to get your game out. So I just wanted to point that out. Because I like to romp and stomp. So, we'll look at a little bit of this. The cool thing about this is you can dress the characters up like Nintendo characters, some of them. Which in and of itself is a pretty neat idea. So,
Now you'll notice that right about here, whoops, see, same on the controller that's on the TV. So we'll press play. Offline mode, special game mode, online mode. I don't know if you can still play online with this or not. If you can, it's probably not going to last too much longer. So we're just going to do this for now. Good old arcade battle. Not a review of the game. It's more of an overview of the system. So, and of course you have a billion characters. You can do tag or you can do solo. So we'll just, for now, we'll just do solo. And I like her. Okay. Looks like we got the same thing going on the screen here. I gotta fight too. That's not so much fun. Fast forward the information by hitting A. Now, you'll see or notice there's special moves on there that if I just do this, do this, see, you just tap those things. They have them laid out for you, or you can just use the traditional buttons the way you would. And it's your typical Tekken goodness. I think there might be a way. I wonder if there's a way that I can switch it to the screen. Find out here in a second. It takes forever to load these games in here. Yeah, nice outfit. Yeah, I don't think offhand I can switch this to the, put this on the big screen here. But it doesn't matter because so anyway, that's the way it looks. It looks kind of cool. I want to find, let me see here. Let's do this. Let's pause this. Let's go back to this. I want to see, where is it here? Change costume. Wait. Yeah, you can dress her like Princess Peach. And I think Heihachi. Let's see here. Where is Heihachi? Where is he here? I can't see them. They're all so small. He's over here. Okay. I think his is. Yeah, see, you can do him like It's me and Mario. Let's see what that looks like. Looks ridiculous. They give him a big nose and everything. No, I'm not that good with Heihachi. I like my girls again. They're much more fun. Girls are more fun to play with. So, here he is. It's me. Who are you fools, he says. Right on. Now, I've never used him before, so they have him set up as this. Here he is. It's me. There he goes. Ooh. Uh-oh. Oh, it's a me. Anyway, so that's Tekken Wii U version right there. While I got you here, I'm going to show you how you close the software on the system. Hit the home button. This comes up. Here's close software right here. You just tap that. Well, there it is, and there you go. So, Nintendo also tends to frown on people using, their IP, music or not. Sometimes you can get away with it. I don't want to risk it. So, we're going to go ahead and use Zombie U, which is not their IP, by Ubisoft. You can now get this game on, I think you can get it on, you can download it on the Xbox One or the PS4. Play that version. It's like a beefed up version. I guess Ubisoft wanted to sell more than what they sold on here, and it's a survival horror type thing. Let's look at a little bit of this. Okay, while it's doing that, it just says how long will you survive on this screen. Campaign. This is my game from before. And you can see last save was 2013. Stuff like that. Here's the intro. I'm sorry I don't include the music. I said before, I don't have the rights to the music. And these days, having music playing on your video that isn't yours is a fast way to get it taken down. I know this from experience. And this is a first-person perspective. I wouldn't call it a first-person shooter as much as first-person perspective, so you can beat somebody with your cricket bat here, or whatever the hell that's supposed to be. Oh, look, there's something over here. What is it? Oh, I gotta get over there. I see. Okay. So the game looks nice. It looks like something you would have found on your Xbox 360 or your PS3. Okay, now look at your Wii U gamepad. Shows you this. And it's a map. Tells you where to go. So, okay. Start here. Oh, I guess you got to pick where you want to go. So we start here, and we go to this one. We want to go... You sure you want to go to the Brick Lane Markets? Yes. So we're going to go there. He's going to crawl underground there. And emerge at the Brick Lane Markets and get killed rather quickly. This just to show you. Okay, here I am back with my cricket bat. Reach the Royal Bunker entrance, which I'm probably not going to be able to do. Need a lockpick to open that door. We will not be going in that door. Look, I have this flashlight that's where I came out. What's this door? Okay, I can open this door. Probably going to go out and I'm going to get mauled by a bunch of zombies though. Loading, loading, loading. Okay, here I am outside. And I'm probably going to get my first zombie attack here. I can run a little faster. Here he comes. Whack. Yeah. Shows you how good at this I am. So anyway, and while it does that on that screen, it does this, like this snow from an old TV kind of thing on there, right? So anyway, that's Zombie U. And while we watch this guy tear the hell out of my character, I'll just say that some parting thoughts on this Wii U thing. It was too little, too late in the sense that the whole concept of the Wii had already started to kind of fall off, because you had phones and tablets and mobile devices that had gyroscopes and accelerometers and the like, and could do these kind of games for a lot cheaper and on the go, okay, than something like a Wii U. One of the neat things about the Wii U that I didn't show you here is they have this like a Wii U sports kind of thing, where you can play golf and you use a motion controller. I have motion controllers that I use with this, but they're from another Wii system that I have. But anyway, in that situation, this thing becomes, you lay it on the ground flat like this, and there's a golf ball here, and because this strip here senses, a Wii U or a Wii motion controller. It's a sensor. It can sense you swinging and hitting the ball, and then the one on the TV then picks it up and puts it where it should go. So it's kind of interesting, but again, at that point, the campiness and the quirkiness had kind of worn off with a lot of people. So it's a shame. They also did a very poor job of demonstrating what the system really was. I think a few more people would have probably picked it up early on had they understood what it really was, instead of thinking that it was just an add-on controller for the Wii. Because all they talked about was the damn screen, a second screen controller. But anyway, at the end of the day, what's going to happen with this system is the value of it is going to go up over time. I predict over time that this system will increase in value because it is so rare. They didn't make that many. 14 million is not that many systems. And I also predict that this game right here, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, I'm predicting that this will increase in value phenomenally. That's my prediction. I could be, very likely I'm wrong. But I think that I'm holding on to this for now, because I think that in the long run it's going to be worth some bucks. As will the Wii U be worth some bucks. The Nintendo Virtual Boy. If you look at what a Virtual Boy costs now, go ahead and look for those. There's a range of price, of course, for a really good-looking one that's in working condition and in good shape, and one that's kind of crappy. But look around, you'll see that those run a pretty penny. Those aren't cheap. And I think that you're going to see the Wii U do something similar down the road. So if you are young now's the time to get yours. Get it while it's cheap. Hang on to it. Put it away somewhere. And best case scenario, don't even open the box. Keep it in the box. Get a copy of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Keep it in the box. Don't even open it. If you can get your hands on it, wait about 5-10 years. See what they're going for then. I know that sounds insane, but hey, could be a small nest egg for you. Small, but a nest egg nonetheless. So anyway, I want to take the time to thank you for tuning in and checking it out. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out. And we will see you next time.